Hello and welcome back to Serpent Sunday. As always, I am your host, Morgan. This week we're going to be talking about a fairly recent study that suggests snakes may be able to be considered ecosystem engineers. Now, before we dig into the article, what exactly is an ecosystem engineer? Well, an ecosystem engineer is an organism that creates, significantly modifies, maintains, or destroys their habitat. The most well-known example of an ecosystem engineer is going to be the beaver, because they build dams that end up creating these fairly decent-sized ponds that creates a brand new habitat for other organisms to eventually move into. And a little mini ecosystem then ends up popping up, all because one animal decided to build a dam. Now, the particular article that we're talking about today, which can be seen right here and is also linked down below, was officially published a couple years ago in 2018. And the researchers we're looking at preserved specimens that have been kept at the Museum of Vertebrate Zoology at the University of California, Berkeley. And the specific specimens they looked at were all species of rattlesnakes that were originally wild caught in California and Arizona. Specifically, they looked at 50 species in total, and they were looking at the contents of their digestive tract, the stomach, small and large intestines, including the colon as well, which is a part of that entire tract. In 45 of these specimens, they found the remains of rodents. And because rodents tend to eat seeds, but when they haven't quite eaten them yet, they can store them in little pouches inside their cheeks. They also found the remains of seeds in the digestive tracts of these snakes. Now, there were 971 relatively undamaged seeds found in total, and those that were found in the large intestines of many of the specimens were beginning to germinate. And germination is the process by which a seed begins to grow or spring to life, if you will. Now, why would these seeds be relatively unharmed and beginning to germinate within the snake's digestive tract? Well, that has to do with the fact that snakes are obligate carnivores, meaning they can only eat and process meat. And in fact, they don't have the necessary enzymes to break down cellulose and other components of a seed and other plant matter. So when they swallow their prey, since they don't chew, the seeds don't get damaged in that process. And then when they enter the digestive tract, there's nothing there to begin breaking them down. And it's important to note here that the species that these particular researchers were looking at were desert species. And in the desert, a lot of plants have seeds that need to undergo some sort of scarification or some sort of disturbance, like being exposed to fire or struck or just left in water for a certain period of time in order to actually germinate, and these seeds can be dormant for massive amounts of time. And the researchers are hypothesizing that the snake's digestive tract, and while they cannot break them down, the digestive enzymes within the snake provide that needed scarification for these seeds to begin to germinate. So when they are eventually passed through the snake's system, they are ready to grow into a plant. Now, why would all of this make snakes possibly ecosystem engineers? Well, the fact that they are able to distribute these seeds in a wider array of places and help plants pop up in other areas of the ecosystem in and of itself gives them a chance to shape the makeup of the habitat in which they are found. And in places, especially like the desert, Sometimes seeds don't necessarily have very much option to disperse into greater areas like they would in, say, a rainforest, where there are a multitude of different species that help those seeds move around the place. Because in case you didn't know, plants can't exactly get up and walk around to put their offspring, the seeds, wherever they would like them to go. Sometimes they need a little help. And rodents tend to destroy seeds because that's what they eat. So getting moved around by the snake means these seeds are not destroyed and have a chance at growing into a new plant. Now, there's not a lot more research that has been done besides this particular study that would lay the groundwork. There was an older study looking at different species being fed rodents that had fed on different fruits to see if the seeds could pass through a snake's digestive tract in the past. However, that research didn't go much more in depth than that. And future studies should be done to look at the array of species around the world and in different biomes, like the desert, rainforest, grassland, what have you, and the different things being picked up by snakes in that area, and if you're also seeing the same phenomena of seeds germinating within the digestive tract. Now, I'm skeptical of the label ecosystem engineer necessarily being put on snakes, just because they are not the only species that disperses seeds, and in some habitats, certainly, I don't necessarily think that label would be an accurate one to give them, but I can see how in like a desert ecosystem it would work, since deserts, chaparrals, those particular ecosystems do have the plants that don't necessarily germinate for years until a fire goes through or there is a winter that has more rain than others to allow for chemicals that are stuck on the seeds produced by the plant to promote dormancy get leached off or washed away. I, in my little nerdy heart, am excited for research like this because it just makes ecosystems so much more intricate and gives something as little as a snake a role that has never been thought of before this research was carried out. And it just breaks ground for new areas of science, herpetology, research, all of that to eventually follow up if someone actually takes it that far. All right, guys, that's all I really have for you today. I have the post from the Cornell University website that talks about this research link below, as well as the actual research article itself, if you're interested in taking a look through that. And please leave any questions, comments in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already done so. Also remember to follow me on all my social medias. The links are down in the description below, and check out thereptilegoth.com. If you found any value in this and you would like to support the channel, assuming you have the means to do so, go ahead and check out the Patreon. Again, that link is going to be down in the description below, just like everything else. See you next time.